Welcome back, digital navigators, to the deep dive here on Cyber Mornings Daily. Thrilled to have you with us. We're embarking on another, well, pretty fascinating journey today, right into the fabric of our digital lives. Our mission, as always, is to cut through all that noise, give you that shortcut to being really well informed about this ever shifting digital landscape. It's a place where the rules are constantly being rewritten. Digital empires rise and fall like instantly. And even the cutting edge, AI, artificial intelligence, it's getting caught up in this complex dance of human ingenuity, the good stuff, and, well, the not so good stuff. We've got three stories today, distinct but deeply interconnected. Each one gives you a unique view on how our digital lives are being shaped. Think of it like a triptych. Challenges and triumphs. First, we'll peel back the layers on how major tech companies are being held accountable, facing some really significant penalties for privacy issues all over the globe. Then, we dive into this gripping story, the dramatic takedown of a massive global online piracy network. The scale will genuinely surprise you. I mean, really. And finally, we'll uncover this particularly clever, maybe a bit unsettling, new exploit. It turns an AI assistant on popular social media platform into an unwitting accomplice for threat actors. It's a high-stakes world out there. Understanding these moves is just crucial.
What's truly fascinating, I think, is how these things, they seem separate, right?
Mm.
Regulatory fines, piracy takedowns, AI exploits, but they all point to this growing need, a really undeniable need for better digital literacy and, maybe more importantly, critical thinking. We're going to go beyond just the headlines, explore the why and the how, and maybe what it all means for you, as you navigate your digital life. Understanding these dynamics, it's key to seeing what's next and staying safe and informed in this environment that just changes so fast. So yeah, let's begin this deep dive. All right, let's kick things off. Story one. This focuses on that regulatory hammer coming down hard on some of the biggest names in tech. It's really about how global regulators are starting to, well, flex their muscles when it comes to user privacy and specifically this idea of digital consent. Now, be honest, how many times have you just, clicked accept in a rush on those endless pop-ups? Cookies, terms of service? I do constantly. It's almost muscle memory for most people, isn't it? Just click it away.
Exactly. But what's fascinating and absolutely critical to grasp is that the legal definitions of what truly counts as informed consent, they're getting much, much stricter. Companies that used to rely on, let's say, ambiguity or those dark patterns in their interfaces, they're now feeling a very real financial pinch.
It's not enough anymore just to have an accept button.
Right. It's the way you get that consent, the transparency, how easy it is for users to just say no. All that is under intense scrutiny now.
And that shift is really clear in Europe, especially with laws like GDPR empowering national authorities. Look at France. Their data protection authority, CNIL, that's the Commission nationale de l'informatique et des libertés, they just hit Google hard.
Huge fine, wasn't it?
Massive. $379 million or 325 million euros just for violating cookie rules.
Okay, so let's unpack that. What was the core violation? It wasn't just using cookies.
No, not just using them. It was the lack of proper consent. That was the key. CNIL specifically pointed out that when you were creating a Google account, you were kind of encouraged to pick personalized ad cookies.
Ah, the nudge.
Exactly, the nudge. It was presented in a way that made it seem like the default or the better option compared to generic ads. And this is where those dark patterns really come into play. Design choices that subtly push users towards actions that benefit the platform, often at the expense of their privacy.
Right, so Google is basically saying, take the personalized ads.
Well, CNIL found users weren't clearly told that accepting these ad cookies was essentially a condition, a prerequisite to fully use Google services. And that's a fundamental breach. Consent given under pressure or without all the info. That's not legally valid consent. It undermines your choice.
And this wasn't like ages ago, right? This was recent.
Yeah, this default behavior. It went on until October 2023. And even after they added an option to refuse cookies, CNIL said the lack of informed consent still persisted.
So adding the button wasn't enough.
Nope. It was like offering a choice, but making one option way harder or more obscure. It wasn't a real, free, informed decision. The regulators are looking at the intent, the impact, not just if a button exists.
It's about the spirit of the law, then, not just ticking a box.
Precisely.
And it's not just Google feeling the heat here.
No, definitely not. Shein, the fast fashion giant, they got hit too. $175 million or 150 million euros from CNIL for almost identical cookie violations.
Wow. So it's a pattern.
It is. Shein says they've updated their systems now, but they're also planning to appeal, which shows how much money is at stake here.
Absolutely. So regulators are actively hunting down these deceptive practices. The message is clear. Implied consent, coerced consent, that era is fading fast.
And it goes beyond just browser cookies.
Yeah, talk about the Gmail thing. That was interesting, too.
Right, Google's Gmail. Another issue in France, this is about ads appearing as emails in the promotions and social tabs.
Which a lot of users probably just see as part of their inbox.
Exactly. But CNIL ruled that displaying ads like that, it required users' explicit consent under French electronic communication laws.
And there's precedent for this, isn't there?
There is. Just last December, Orange, the French telecom operator, fined $50 million for something very similar, sticking ads between actual emails without consent.
So this isn't a new interpretation. They're just consistently applying existing law to how platforms work now.
Correct. And Google. They have 6 months to get Gmail compliant, or they face penalties of €100,000 per day.
Ouch. That adds up incredibly quickly. Makes non-compliance really, really expensive.
It does. The consistent message, especially from Europe, is that presumed consent, assuming permission, unless someone opts out, it's just not good enough anymore. Users need clear choices, informed choices, and opting out has to be just as easy as opting in.
It's about more than just privacy, then.
Oh, yeah. Consumer protection, digital sovereignty. It means every digital company, big or small, has to rethink how they handle data. The question shifts from how much data can we grab to what do we actually need and do we have explicit, undeniable consent for it?
That's a huge shift in thinking. It impacts everything: design, engineering, business models.
It absolutely does, and it sets a global precedent.
That's a really crucial point, that philosophical shift from implied to explicit consent, and how it ripples outwards. So while Europe's cracking down hard on cookies, what's happening stateside? The American landscape, the FTC and others, they're also focused on privacy, right?
Definitely, especially when it involves kids, and making sure that when users do opt out, it actually means something.
Like that Google case in the U.S. That wasn't about cookies, was it?
No, that was different. A U.S. jury found Google violated user privacy because they kept collecting data even after people explicitly opted out of web and app activity tracking.
So the opt-out button didn't actually opt them out.
Essentially, yes,
There?
which is a massive breach of trust. The result, $425 million in compensatory damages from a class action lawsuit.
That sends a pretty strong message.
It does. Offering an opt-out isn't enough. Your systems have to actually stop collecting the data when someone says no. That expectation of privacy has to be honored technically.
Okay, and then there was the Disney case with the FTC. That involved kids, right?
Yes. The Federal Trade Commission, the main U.S. consumer protection agency, they went after Disney, resulting in a $10 million settlement. But also, importantly, mandated changes.
And the violation was?
Collecting personal data from kids watching YouTube videos without parental notification or consent, that's a direct violation of COPIA.
COPIA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule. Big deal.
Huge deal. And the way it happens is quite telling. It wasn't necessarily malicious intent, it seems, but a critical oversight.
How so?
Disney didn't properly label some of their YouTube videos as made for kids. A seemingly small error, right?
But with big consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't labeled correctly, data collection was allowed. Data from kids under 13. And that data was used for targeted ads. COPIA is crystal clear. You cannot collect personal info from under 13s without verifiable parental consent. Period.
So the settlement wasn't just the fine.
No, far from it. Disney now has to implement really strict protocols, alert parents before collecting data, get explicit consent, and crucially, start a robust program to make sure their videos are correctly designated on YouTube.
That puts the onus squarely on content creators.
It does. It forces them to prioritize child protection in their content strategy and their technical setup.
And it's not just the massive media companies either. You mentioned a toy maker.
Right, Apator Technology, a China-based robot toy maker. The FTC took action against them too.
What was the issue there? Also kids' data.
Yes. Allegedly, Apator allowed a third-party SDK that's a software development kit.
Like a pre-built code package developers use.
Yeah, exactly. They allowed an SDK called JPush to collect children's geolocation data through their Android app without the kid's knowledge and, crucially, without parental consent.
Geolocation data from a toy app. Wow.
Yeah. What's tricky here is the opacity. Apator puts this JPush SDK in their app, and then JPush could apparently just hoover up precise location data from kids' phones, use it for anything, like targeted ads. The kid downloads the app, and suddenly their location is being beamed off to JPush's servers, all hidden.
That's creepy. And a prime example of how third-party code can be a privacy nightmare.
Totally. Apador basically handed over control of user data, and the third party ran with it. It raises big questions, doesn't it?
Like how much vetting developers need to do on every single SDK.
Right. Do they really know what data every bit of third-party code is collecting and sending? And for parents, how vigilant do they need to be, checking every permission for every app?
It's incredibly complex.
It is. But these rulings are pushing towards more corporate accountability, all the way down the supply chain. #tag listener takeaways for story 1.
Okay, so let's boil this down. What does all this mean for you, listening right now, trying to navigate your digital life?
Well, it's a huge reminder that regulators, especially in Europe and the US, are getting much more serious about data privacy. They're pushing companies hard to be more transparent about how they collect your info, how they use it, especially for ads, and especially when kids are involved.
Yeah, the days of just assuming consent by default or hoping hidden data collection goes unnoticed, those days seem to be numbered.
Which is good for user rights, right?
Definitely positive. But it also means you, the user, need to be more aware, more informed about the choices you make online, the permissions you grant.
Every click, every accept, it carries more weight now. You need to understand what's behind it.
Absolutely. Okay. From these complex courtroom battles over privacy and consent, let's shift gears dramatically. While legit companies are grappling with these rules, there's another fierce battle happening in the shadows over control of valuable content itself, which brings us to a story that's, well, pretty epic, the dramatic fall of a massive digital pirate empire. So yeah, from the nuanced legalities of consent, we plunge into something that honestly reads like a movie script. Picture it. Massive global criminal operation. Secretly siphoning off billions from legitimate creators, finally brought down by this coordinated international effort.
This isn't just, a couple of people sharing a movie file. This is an empire built on theft, systematic theft and distribution of IP at an incredible scale.
A real cat and mouse game in the digital underworld. We're talking about Streamist.
Freemies.
Yeah.
Popped up around 2018 and in a really short time just exploded. Became arguably the world's biggest illegal live sports streaming network.
And the appeal was obvious, right?
It's super simple, super powerful. It was free. Supported by ads, sure, but free. And it gave access to HD streams, pirated directly from the licensed broadcasters.
So basically, all the sports you could want without paying for multiple subscriptions.
Exactly. Premier League soccer, NFL, NBA, pay-per-view fights, everything, all in one place, for free.
An irresistible draw for people looking to bypass the legal route.
Absolutely. But for the sports industry, a massive multi-billion-dollar hole in their revenue. Just hemorrhaging money, #tag, a network of immense scale.
And when you say massive, how massive are we talking?
We mean it. Quantifiably massive.
Yeah.
Reportedly, they operated across 80 different domains.
80? Why so many?
To evade detection, make takedowns harder, it's a distributed network. And collectively, those 80 domains were pulling in 136 million monthly visits.
136 million a month.
A month. Think about that number. In the past year, before they got shut down, 1.6 billion trips to their sites.
That's bigger than some legitimate streaming platforms.
It rivals them, absolutely. This wasn't some small-time thing. This had the scale, the reach of a sophisticated, well-funded enterprise.
And global reach, too, right? Not just one region.
Totally global. Top visitor countries. U.S., Canada, U.K., the Philippines, Germany. Shows you the international footprint and the global nature of the demand for this stuff.
Okay, so huge traffic. What about the content itself? What were they offering?
Pretty much everything. If it was a major sport, they likely had it.
Right.
Top soccer leagues, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, Premier Liga, MLS.
Okay, all the big ones.
Yep. Plus national team games, World Cup, Euros, Nations League, Copa America, and club competitions, Champions League, Europa League.
So comprehensive on the soccer front.
Absolutely. But not just soccer. Major U.S. sports, too.
Yeah.
NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB.
Football, basketball, hockey, baseball, covered.
Covered. Combat sports.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view boxing, MMA events, the expensive ones. They had those, too.
Wow. Even motorsports.
Formula One, MotoGP. Yeah. It was genuinely a one-stop shop for pirated sports.
Yeah. Which made it incredibly attractive to users.
And incredibly damaging to the actual rights holders.
Yeah.
And this really underlines, this wasn't just file sharing. This was an enterprise-level criminal operation.
Yeah.
Sophisticated, not just in getting and distributing the content, but in monetizing it through ads, just like legit platforms.
Mimicking the real thing.
Exactly. The sheer volume, The stream quality, the global user base, it points to serious organization, technical infrastructure, financial planning. It's disturbing, but they rivaled legit media companies, just without any of the costs or ethics.
Shows the massive financial incentive driving this stuff, a shadow economy worth billions.
And think about the technical challenge. Capturing, transcoding, distributing live global sports streams with minimal delay. That takes skill, serious skill and resources. Hashtag tag, the cracks begin to show.
Okay, so how do you even start to take down something that big, that sophisticated?
Well, often the first signs are subtle, little glitches.
Like what happened here?
About 6 days before the official takedown announcement, users started reporting problems, on Reddit mostly.
What kind of problems?
Trouble accessing the site, streams not loading, chats not working, small things.
But those were the first tremors.
Exactly. The early signs that something bigger was happening behind the scenes, a coordinated strike was underway, the digital equivalent of, boots on the ground, but quietly. Hashtag tag the coordinated strike.
And the actual takedown, that was a big joint effort.
Monumental. Real international collaboration. The Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, ACE.
That's the big coalition of entertainment companies fighting piracy.
Yeah, over 50 of them globally. They work directly with Egyptian authorities.
Why Egypt?
Because that's where key parts of the operation, or at least key individuals, were based. This international cooperation is vital. These operations deliberately span borders to make enforcement difficult.
So, boots on the ground in Egypt?
Led to arrests, yeah. 2 people allegedly linked to the operation were arrested in El Sheikh Zayed, near Giza.
And they seized stuff.
Oh, yeah. Laptops, smartphones, cash, lots of it, multiple credit cards.
Yeah.
Critical evidence to unravel the whole thing.
So not just shutting down servers, but going after the people running it.
That's the key. Disrupting the human network behind the tech. Hashtag following the money trail.
But taking down the tech, arresting people,
Yeah,
that's not the end, right? You got to cut off the money.
absolutely. To really cripple these things, you follow the money. That's what fuels them.
And did they manage that here?
They did. Investigators linked the streaming Odd Trubab to a shell company based in the UAE.
Classic money laundering tactic.
Textbook. This shell company was allegedly used to launder the advertising revenue. Obscure where it came from, make it hard to trace.
And how much money are we talking?
The scope was staggering. That one shell company used to launder $6.2 million in ad revenue since 2010,
6.2 million.
plus an additional $200,000 laundered using cryptocurrency.
Ah, crypto too, using all the modern tools.
Exactly. Shows how diversified and up-to-date these criminal enterprises are. Offshore companies, digital currencies, makes the financial investigation incredibly complex, just as complex as the technical side.
It really does make you wonder, doesn't it? How many more of these shadow economies are out there, operating just as slickly?
It's a constant battle, the whole whack-a-mole challenge.
Yeah.
But law enforcement and groups like ACE are getting more sophisticated too. It's not just IP addresses anymore. It's financial intelligence, data analytics, cross-border teamwork. Following those complex money trails takes a mix of tech, legal, and financial expertise. Hashtag the aftermath.
So what happened right after the arrests and seizures?
The response was pretty swift. 80 of StreamEast's domains. They now redirect users straight to ACE's Watch Legally website.
Sending a clear message.
Very clear. This is illegal. Go here for the legit stuff. But the fight's never completely over.
Some domains still active?
Reports indicated somewhere, yeah.
Mhm.
Shows how hard it is to completely wipe out these distributed networks. It's a continuous battle. Taking down one big player might just create a vacuum others try to fill.
But this was a significant blow, no doubt.
Undeniably. A very big hit in the war against content piracy.
Yeah.
Hashtag tag listener takeaways for story 2.
Okay, so summing up story 2, what's the takeaway for you, the listener?
Well, beyond the arrests, the seized gear, this story really shows the persistent, incredibly complex fight against piracy. It just reveals the absolutely massive scale these illegal operations reach, the resources they command.
And crucially, the real tangible costs they impose on the legitimate creators, the sports leagues, the broadcasters, the ones who actually invest billions to produce the content we all enjoy.
So, choosing legal streaming options?
Yeah.
It's not just about ethics, is it?
Not at all. It's about supporting that entire creative ecosystem. Every click on a legit service is, in a way, a vote to keep that content coming.
All right, let's pivot one last time. From large-scale criminal enterprise to something different, a really clever technical exploit, one that turns AI into an unwitting accomplice. This is our third story.
Oh,
Okay, final deep dive story. And this one really shows how even the most advanced tech can have these unexpected vulnerabilities. especially when you have clever, persistent threat actors poking around. We're talking about a brand new trick, using X's built-in AI assistant, Grok. Right. This is where AI, which is designed purely to be helpful, right, to give information, it gets weaponized, turned into an unwitting accomplice for spreading bad links, scams.
It's a really fascinating look at the new frontiers of cyber exploitation. So to really get how clever this is, we need context. What was X, formerly Twitter, trying to stop in the first place?
They were trying to tackle malicious advertising. Malvertising. It's a huge problem.
Ads that look legit but deliver malware or send you to phishing sites.
Exactly. So X introduced link posting restrictions, pretty significant ones. The goal was to automatically catch and block suspicious or known bad links within posts, a defensive measure.
Makes sense. But as always, where there's a defense, someone tries to find a way around it.
Precisely. And this bypass is, well, it's pretty slick. Hashtag #the grokking exploit unveiled. It's been dubbed grokking by Nati Tal, a researcher at Guardio Labs. And it's really a masterclass in exploiting an unexpected blind spot and an AI's helpful nature.
Okay, break it down for us. How does grokking work, step by step?
Right. Step 1, the sketchy ad, but no link. So the malvertisers run a video ad on X, often using bait, like adult content, something designed to grab attention, get clicks. But here's the crucial part. They don't put a link in the main body of the ad or the visible text.
Why not?
To get past X's automated scanners. Those scanners are looking for links in the main content, so no link there, no flag raised initially.
Okay, step 1, avoid the obvious scan. What's next?
Step 2, hide the link in metadata. Instead of a visible link, they hide the malicious URL in a tiny, often overlooked field called the from metadata field.
Where's that?
It's usually tucked away underneath the video card itself, and this is the loophole. X's security systems apparently weren't scanning this specific metadata field for bad links.
Yeah, the blind spot, like a secret compartment.
Exactly. Security focused on the main door, left the basement window unlocked, so to speak.
Okay, link hidden, step 3.
Step 3, trigger Grok. This is where X's own AI assistant, Grok, gets involved, unknowingly. The threat actors, probably the same people who posted the ad, they then replied to their own ad. And they ask Grok a seemingly innocent question.
Like what?
Simple stuff. Where is this video from? Or what is the link to this video? They know how Grok works. It tries to be helpful, parse info, provide answers.
They're basically setting up the AI.
Precisely. Which leads to step 4, Grok's unwitting compliance. Grok, doing what it's programmed to do, tries to be helpful. It parses all the data associated with that original ad. Included the hidden from field. Included the hidden from field. It finds the malicious link sitting there. And then, trying to give a complete answer, Grok replies to the ad with the full malicious link in clickable format.
Oh, wow. So the AI just serves up the malicious link on a platter.
Without any idea it's malicious, it's just following its programming.
Yeah.
Find requested information, provide it. It lacks the context, the security awareness.
Okay, that's bad. But what's step 5? That sounds ominous.
Step 5, amplification and credibility. This is where it gets really damaging. Because Grok isn't just any account. It's an official system account on X. It's the platform's own AI assistant. It's automatically trusted.
So when Grok posts the link,
It doesn't just display it. It boosts its credibility, its reach, its SEO, its reputation.
people are way more likely to click a link from the official AI, right?
Far more likely, no suspicion. So this dramatically increases the chances of that malicious link getting blasted out to a huge number of users, way beyond the ad's initial reach.
It's hijacking the platform's trust, using the AI against its own users.
It's a brilliant, if terrifying, exploit. The AI, meant to help, becomes this digital megaphone for scams.
That's where it gets really interesting. The AI, meant to help, becomes an unwitting accomplice, amplifying scams and malware to potentially millions. It's like, I don't know, asking a super helpful librarian for info, and they enthusiastically point you to a booby-trapped book because someone slipped a note inside.
That's a good analogy. And the outcome. Significant, widespread. The researcher found these links funnel users through shady ad networks, lead them to all sorts of scams.
Like what kind of scams?
Fake Cape TCHA, test to steal credentials, info-stealing malware to compromise devices, other malicious payloads, serious stuff with real financial and privacy consequences.
And the irony is just, wow, instead of X's link restrictions blocking these bad ads.
Grok promotes and amplifies them, reaching millions of impressions. The platform itself, unintentionally, becomes complicit in spreading them. Hashtag potential solutions and the future of AI security.
Okay, so how do you fix something like this grokking?
Well, the suggested solutions seem pretty clear, multifaceted. First, X needs to scan all fields, not just the main body. Scan that metadata too. The security perimeter has to cover everything.
Lose the loophole? Makes sense.
Second, block hidden links entirely. Make it technically impossible to embed them in these overlooked fields.
Shut down that specific tactic.
And third, and this is maybe the most critical part for the future of AI, add robust context sanitization to Grok.
Meaning?
Meaning the AI shouldn't just blindly echo links when asked. It needs programming to filter them, check them against block lists, do some contextual analysis, assess the risk, develop some digital skepticism, if you will.
So teach the AI not to be too helpful with links it doesn't understand.
Essentially, yes. The good news, this was reported responsibly to X. Grok's engineers got the report, so hopefully a fix is coming or maybe already deployed.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, what does it tell us?
It really highlights the shadow side of adopting AI everywhere. AI offers huge benefits, right? It's efficiency.
Absolutely.
But integrating it into public platforms like this, it can create totally unforeseen ways to exploit things, unforeseen attack vectors.
So the big question becomes,
How do we build smarter AI guardrails? Guardrails that anticipate these kinds of creative abuses instead of just reacting after the fact.
that's a huge challenge, an arms race, really.
It is. Between developers trying to make AI helpful and innovative, and bad actors looking to exploit any weakness. The challenge is developing AI that's not just helpful, but also inherently secure, capable of spotting malicious intent, even when it's cleverly disguised. #tag for handy listener takeaways for Story 3.
Okay, so wrapping up story 3, what does this grokking exploit mean for you, our listener, the savvy digital citizen? Well, it's a stark reminder, isn't it? Even sources that seem trusted online, like an official AI assistant from a huge platform, they can be manipulated.
Absolutely. So that critical thinking, that healthy dose of skepticism, more vital than ever when clicking any link. Doesn't matter where it seems to come from.
Pause, question the context, verify if you can, if anything feels even slightly off.
Just don't click. Your personal digital security really relies increasingly on your own vigilance, because even the most advanced systems can sometimes be turned against you. #tag outro.
So, as we bring today's deep dive to a close, what are the big takeaways? What insights can we draw about navigating this increasingly complex digital world? We've seen big tech getting reined in on privacy, huge fines. We saw digital pirates, their multi-billion-dollar empires dismantled through some really sophisticated international teamwork. And we saw cutting-edge AI tools being cleverly misused to spread scams. It's just clear the landscape isn't just shifting, it's constantly being reshaped.
Yeah.
Right under our feet.
Yeah. Today we explore that global push for real data privacy, for explicit consent, expose some of those hidden mechanisms companies used to rely on.
Right. And we unmasked the sheer scale of digital piracy, the intricate operations needed to fight it.
And we illuminated these ingenious and, troubling ways threat actors are exploiting new tech like AI,
Yeah.
forcing us all to rethink digital trust.
Each story, different, but they're all pieces of this bigger puzzle, aren't they? Showing how our digital future is being built, challenged, secured, one headline at a time.
And today's deep dive, I think, really underscores a core principle, an enduring one for everyone in this digital age.
Yeah.
Relentless vigilance and critical thinking. They are your absolute best defenses, period.
Whether it's clicking accept on those cookie banners,
Or deciding where you stream your sports.
or evaluating a link that seems to come from a trusted AI.
Pausing to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
More important now than ever before. Understanding the hidden mechanisms, the subtle manipulations, the powerful forces at play behind these headlines, it helps you. Helps you become more informed, more discerning, and crucially, a safer digital citizen. The more you know about these often invisible currents, the better equipped you are to protect yourself, protect your data.
Couldn't agree more. As technology keeps racing forward, so do the ways it can be used and misused. The stories today, they weren't just about fines or takedowns or clever hacks. They're really about this ongoing dance, right? Between innovation, regulation, and that relentless human drive to either create value or exploit vulnerabilities. So for you, our listener, here's a final thought. Something provocative to mull over as you go about your digital day. What new, unforeseen challenges might tomorrow's AI bring? Things we haven't even thought of yet. And maybe more importantly, how quickly will we as individuals, as a society, adapt, learn, and secure our ever-expanding digital lives against whatever comes next? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, stay informed, and above all, stay safe out there.